Welcome to CNS 2003. This is week 1, the first chapter. What is a computer network? Computer network is a group of computers connected together to perform specific tasks. Okay? Like what? Can you give me an example? What they can do and what do we use the network for? Sharing file, finance, internet, to access the internet, sharing a printer. Okay. So what are the components of the network? Who can tell me some components? Network, very good. And users and computers. What else? Router is the hardware, yes. What else? Network card, yes. That's inside the computer, yes. Server, that's the main part. So this is on the hardware. On the software, what do we have for the network to work? We should have a network operating system, which is an OS. Okay, NOS يعني or NOS or network operating system. So here, this is a diagram. Here we have a PC server connected with a switch. Okay. So this is a simple client-server network architecture. Okay. Is this a LAN or WAN? Because this is a LAN. LAN. Connected. Okay. And each computer here, as you can see, it has an IP address. Okay, IP address. By the way, this is which class? Class C, very good. Excellent. Okay, class C. Why? Because we're starting with 192. What is the subnet mask for a class C? 255.0. 255.255.255.0. This is a class. By the way, now for IP addressing, we used to use IP version 4, or the world used to use IP version 4, but because we started to run out of IP addresses on IP version 4, because it's only 32-bit, the address, we moved into IP version 6, and IP version 6 is 128 addresses, bits. So it can provide more addresses, okay? And now for the Windows Server can be computer tower, yani high RAM, high memory, high capacity, high storage. Or now we can have the cloud computing. We can store our files into the cloud. Okay. Okay, now if we talk about the computer, this is a good revision for your hardware and internet. What are the components inside the computer? Memory, we talk about general, yeah. Memory, very good. Motherboard, CPU, input-output devices, yes, graphic. Okay, sorry about this. Now here they talk about the factors for the server. It's coming in different shapes. We have the tower server, the normal one. The one you see always, this is tower and it's a computer. This is the server. Usually it's inside a room and locked. But also we have blade servers. Blade servers, you know, it's like a blade. Slide, you put it and you remove it. Okay, they are installed on servers chassis to save space and power. And they usually populate data centers or supercomputer facilities. Okay, we have also the rack mountable servers. These are like the one we have in G107A. They are coming on a rack, and then you have the server is on the rack. Okay? Because then it's easier to manage. If you want to upgrade, if you want to add to it, you can still add to it. Okay? This is how it looks like. NOS, we already talked about NOS. Can you give me an example of NOS, network operating software or system? Linux, very good. Windows Server, very good. Mac OS server, yes. So now let's talk more about Windows Server and the history of Windows Server. This is a good timeline here. Let's go here and then we'll go back. Yeah. In the 1990s, they started with Windows NT 3.5. Then the release NT4 came. Then they jumped to Windows 2000. I was working that time. I was living that history. Suddenly we had the Windows Server 2000. Okay. Then we had Windows Server 2003. And after that, we had Windows Server 2012, then 16 and 19, and now we have 2022. Okay, so we covered this part. Here we talk about the file system. We will be discussing this later on. But this is just to tell you, when NT started, we were using NTFS. Before NTFS, anybody knows what was used? The file system on computer, they were using FAT16 and FAT32, but now nobody's using. Okay. We'll cover this. So Windows Server is the latest according to the book, but it's not really the latest. Okay. And it has many improvements over Windows 2016. What are the additions of Windows 2000 Server? We have the data center. This is the full one, the highest one, even the highest price. Okay, most comprehensive, designed for enterprises that own highly virtualized data centers or act as cloud providers. Then we have standard. Standard is full feature, but is designed for medium-sized businesses. It has all the features, but like it does not provide the same numbers or the same capacity like the data center. Then we have the essential. It is for small businesses that have only one server. Then we have Hyper-V. Hyper-V is a free product that delivers enterprise-class virtualization for data centers and hybrid clouds. So you should know these 4 types. Now here we have a quick revision between Windows Server 2019 and Windows Server 2016 related to hybrid capabilities. Okay. Windows Server 2019 supports hybrid cloud storage and migration services and system insight. And we will talk about some of these in more details in the next slides. Okay, also, it has better security. All right, and it supports shielded VMs for Windows Server and Linux. Also, it supports ATP, اللي هو Microsoft Defender Advanced, but also 2016 supports ATP. Even your Windows has ATP. Also for application programmers, it has support for optimization of performance. It supports Linux containers and the Kubernetes platform. However, both of them support Windows Server containers, including Docker. You know what is the Docker? People who are application students, when you want to create a program, instead of creating your program on the system itself, you create it inside a container. So if you can have full control on it, it does not affect your system. So this is a simple, high-level definition of this term. Okay. Also, to the infrastructure management, Windows Server 2019 supports cluster-wide monitoring and deduplication for the REFS, and both of them support storage health monitoring and VM storage resilience. Now, this is very important slide here. What is the minimum requirement for Windows Server? This is the minimum requirement. Please have a look at them. 1.4 giga the processor, 512 the megabyte the RAM, and if you have desktop experience, then you need 2 giga. Storage 32 giga. But this is the minimum, meaning that if you have this, your server will barely boot up. It will be very, very slow and inefficient. You cannot do many things. But we have the recommended. Recommended, the more you have RAM, the more you have storage is better. So the recommended is 2 gigahertz for the processor, and it should be 64-bit, by the way. The RAM, 32 giga. Now, most laptops, they have 16 giga. Anybody has more than 16 gigabyte RAM on your laptop, on his laptop? Most of us 8 giga or 16, right? Disk space can reach 256 SSD and 1 terabyte HDD. Network, you need at least 1 gigabit Ethernet NIC card, and of course graphics, high graphics, and DVD or media to install the Windows. Not necessarily a DVD, but you need, maybe you can install through the network or through a flash. Okay. So let's talk about System Insight. System Insight is a new feature of Server 2019. It uses AI to analyze the Windows performance and predict what is going to happen. And it predicts if there is going to be a bottleneck or not. How does it do that? By using predictive analytics. So it will analyze the past usage, the past data, and predict the new. Okay. Hybrid cloud support, we have already talked about this. It enables the applications that are running on the local servers to take advantage of cloud services. And this is the summary of this feature. Also, storage migration services, they are easier in Windows 2019. You need to know that. Unfortunately, we are not going to do a lab on migration, but you need to know that it is easier and more, it is more controlled within 2019. Storage replica or replication. We had storage replica in Windows 2016, okay, but it is now more enhanced in Windows 2019. It allows users to create a stretching failover cluster for high availability with nodes spread over 2 different sites, okay, which contain the synchronization among storage. It is available in Windows Admin Center, so you need to know that. Now we talk about security. Here they forgot to put the, here it should be security, okay? Security or enhanced security. We mentioned that ATP is there, but also Windows 2019, it provides more security features, okay? Any questions? Now we talk about also, we also mentioned this, it supports for Kubernetes. Okay. Kubernetes has two parts, nodes and pods. The nodes are the physical machines or the virtual machine. The pod is the instant of the machine. The instant of the machine. You know, when you take an instant of the server, what is there running right now, like screenshot of your mobile, this is called a pod. Okay. So you can read this one. This is, has more, more details for people who like to learn more about Docker and Kubernetes. Okay. So this is the last slide for this chapter. Please go over the summary and I will answer now your questions.